time to call your lawyer.
Yes, it is time to call our lawyer and friend, Bruce L. Scheiner, attorney for the injured, as we get our Ask the Lawyer segment off the ground and learn a little something about the law. Today's the day your question might get answered. In fact, if you've sent one in, if you haven't, but you'd like to, I'll tell you how to go about that momentarily. Please know that this is just general legal conversation. It's not meant to be specific advice in your specific circumstances. You can't get that from a radio broadcast. You have to sit down face-to-face with a professional to get that kind of advice. And, some attorneys do offer a free consultation. Bruce L. Scheiner and Associates absolutely offer a free initial consultation. I'll tell you how to contact them in a moment. So if you're in some kind of a legal snarl, you'll be able to get some professional advice. But we can advise you thusly in the meantime. Some good advice for everybody, in other words. Don't sign anything. Don't make any statements. And don't let anybody record any conversations. They have to ask you before they can do so. Don't allow that until you've sat down and talked with a professional. With that in mind, let's see what Bruce thinks of today's legal brain teaser at Kicks Country 92.9. Please help me welcome Bruce L. Scheiner, attorney for the injured. Good morning, Bruce.
Hey, good morning, Todd. It's nice to talk with you.
Good to talk with you. Thank you for taking our call once again. A lot of folks count on this segment week by week so they can learn more about the law and also, I'm sure, hope they never need your services. Not that you're not a great guy and a wonderful attorney, but we don't want to be injured and come to you for help. You know what I mean?
I certainly do.
But it does happen, such as the case with today's question, and we're going to throw this out to you and see what you think about it right now. You ready?
Okay, let's try.
Okay. This says, a friend of mine was riding his motorcycle, and it was hit by someone who failed to stop at a stop sign. The guy who was at fault only had $10,000 in coverage. He was telling the police officer that he was on his way to see a patient for a local health care provider. My friend was hurt pretty severely and needs surgery, and $10,000 is not going to be nearly enough. Is there anything else he can do to get his medical bills paid, not to mention lost wages? Okay, I have a feeling uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage plays a role here, but I just don't know more than that. What do you think?
I think that, and we've handled many cases similar to this, that there's a good chance that the at-fault who was seeing a patient for a local health care provider, that his employer would be responsible. Mm-hmm. If you could show that he was driving in the course and scope of his employment, or in fact, if his employer was paying for his transportation.
Okay.
So in other words, if there's a mileage reimbursement, if there's something of that effect, or if they're actually on the clock, then his employer would be responsible, and you could look to collect your damages from the employer.
Isn't this where an employer likely comes out and says something along the lines of that person being an independent contractor? Does that relieve them of some responsibility?
If, in fact, he's an independent contractor, it would relieve them of responsibility. But if they're paying his mileage, there's a lot of factors, and each time you have a case, you got to make a list of the elements and check off which you comply or comport with your situation. But that's the number one place to look for. And then, of course, if you can't recover from his employer, then you would look at uninsured motorist coverage.
Okay, so if the friend that was riding the motorcycle has insurance that includes underinsured motorist coverage, they might be able to go down that road.
They might be able to go down that road if they can't collect from the health care provider.
Okay. So there's a couple of avenues here, but it seems to me like it's not going to be the kind of thing that he's going to be able to figure out on his own. You probably would recommend some professional consultation here, wouldn't you?
Oh, this is absolutely a case. The only way he'll ever recover is to get a very competent personal injury lawyer.
And it says here he was hurt pretty severely and needs surgery, meaning there's more surgery to come. So down the road, that means also there will be some lost time from work, lost wages. Do you see hope for that?
I see hope for everything that he's entitled to restitution for if you could make a recovery from the health care provider or if there's sufficient coverage from the uninsured motorist insurance.
Okay, so we'll be looking at the same sources, but that would cover everything that he may be entitled to.
Yes, it would.
Okay, well, good. I feel better now. Again, we have these motorcycle questions that come up way too frequently. Always bothers me, but I feel like at least there's a little light at the end of the tunnel here. So thank you very much for the good advice as always, Bruce.
Well, it's my pleasure, Todd. It's nice speaking with you.
And we look forward to talking to you next week.
I'm looking forward to it.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Bruce L. Scheiner, giving of his time, as always, to help keep us informed at Kicks Country 92.9. Now, let's do this. Let's get you to send your question in for future consideration. And the way to go about that, your legal question, is to go to kickscountry929.com. Look for BLS Bruce L. Scheiner. If you're in some kind of a legal problem, difficulty, something's going on that you need help with sooner than that, understandably, you'd want to talk to somebody right away. So give the office a call for Bruce L. Scheiner and Associates. The number is 743-7777 in Port Charlotte, 941-743-7777. Let them help you protect your rights with Bruce L. Scheiner and Associates. One more time, that's 743-7777. Tell them that Todd Matthews sent you from Kicks Country 92.9.